and welcome to the Lifestyle Refresh podcast. I'm Stephanie, and I'm so excited to have you here. This is a space where we explore what it really means to live a balanced, healthy, and fulfilled life through fitness, mindfulness, resilience, and everything in between. I created this podcast to share with you my journey, all the ups and downs, and the lessons I've learned along the way. My hope is that it inspires you to show up for yourself no matter where you're starting from. Each episode will dive into topics that will help you refresh your mindset, habits, and lifestyle so that you can step into the best version of yourself. I'm so glad you're here to join me on this journey. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Lifestyle Refresh podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, and today's episode is all about those funny stories and connections we all have with one another. It's something I want to talk about because it's been showing up in my life in a big way lately. It's the power of intention, the ripple effect of our energy, and just how deeply connected we all really are. I had a session recently that left me really reflecting afterwards. Not because of the details, and I won't share those, but the energy of the conversation just stayed with me. And it reminded me of something I deeply believe in. The way our energy and our intentions can ripple out and come back to us in ways that you wouldn't expect. Lately, I've been seeing this theme pop up again and again, whether it's in conversations or in my coaching or just in my own personal reflections. This idea that what we put out there, it doesn't just vanish into thin air. It echoes. And it often comes back to us. You'll notice it. Whether it's through people reaching out or just like that perfect timing that feels almost too aligned to be random. It's not. And I'm starting to notice and pay attention to like these little situations and come up because I'm starting to live more intentionally, and I'm speaking things out loud, and I'm saying things that I want to bring back into my life. And I've recently really started implementing this. I just had my last episode all about that, about saying things out loud and the affirmation music. So I've talked a lot about different ways that I've implemented this into my life very strongly lately. And it is coming back with, certain conversations I've had, people reaching out to me, working with people that are so aligned, that have been through certain things that I've been through. So I just thought it was a cool idea, and I really wanted to explore it more. Because it's funny, you speak this out loud. What I'm saying isn't to directly the person I receive it from, but it's just wildly interesting to me how it comes back. And it really just made me sit and reflect and think about how truly connected we all are with each other, with the universe, whatever greater being is there that you believe in. There's something, and we are all connected through that and to one another. So when we move through life more mindfully and intentionally, you're really not just affecting yourself. We're setting energy in motion. And it doesn't matter whether you call it manifestation, alignment, or just being in tune with the universe. I truly believe, especially now experiencing this more and more, that we are all deeply interconnected. So let's just go over some universal, non-personal examples that you can start looking out for more to try and be more aware. And if you're interested in noticing this interconnectedness, it's cool. But you want to know what to kind of look out for. And I'm sure even going through some of these, you might have been like, oh, yep, I've experienced that. So you're probably more in tune than you think, but it's just that awareness we need to bring to it. But like random messages or check-ins from people. Have you ever thought about someone out of the blue and then later that day they text you? Or someone just happens to check in on you right when you happen to need support, but you hadn't even told anyone what you were going through. That shows how energy and intention can be sensed and responded to without even words. Or maybe you overheard a message you needed to hear, but you weren't even a part of it. So you're sitting at a coffee shop or walking through a store, and you overhear a stranger say something that hits you with a message that you've been waiting for. It's not a coincidence. That's alignment. Maybe a podcast or a book or a certain song finds you randomly. I don't know, you click on a podcast or an episode, or someone happens to recommend a book, and it speaks to you directly to what you've been going through. Or a song happens to come on at that exact moment you're feeling lost, and it helps remind you of your strength. Maybe just even meeting someone at the right time. Maybe you happen to meet someone new, and they have walked a oddly similar path to yours. Or they happen to offer you the exact help or guidance that you've been needing. And they didn't even need to hear your story. Or you have a thought. Maybe you think to yourself, I really need clarity on this. And then later that day, you get a sign. Whether it's a number sequence, a conversation, maybe it's something symbolic to you and helps you feel grounded again. It's not woo-woo. There's a spiritual connection. Because we are all connected. You'll notice it too if you go into a new space and your energy lifts. Or your mood shifts. Maybe people feel more calm. Maybe more chaotic around you, depending on whatever you're carrying. But that too shows the interconnectedness in real time. You can see that shift right in front of you. It can even show up in manifestations through others. Like we've said, it can show up through people. You say you want to feel more supported or inspired, and all of a sudden, someone new shows up in your life offering just that. Maybe a friend or a friend of a friend introduces you to something that sparks something big in you. It really shows how setting intentions and being open to how that intention comes back to you. But if you can be open to the two, you'll really start to notice and get the actual real life feedback. But what this really comes down to, like I said, is awareness. When we pause, breathe, and just start to try and live a little more intentionally, even just a little, we really start to create space for these connections to unfold. We become more open to noticing them and more trusting of the timing too. So if you've been putting good things out there and you're wondering when or how they'll come back, trust. Keep showing up. I promise you, stay mindful. Remember that the universe often uses other people to deliver what you've been asking for. It might not show up in the way that you're expecting. So be open and aware. And I truly hope that helps, because it's really cool. It's really cool to see how you can put something out there. Like I said, it's wild to me, not directly to that person. And it comes back. It always comes back. Because not only when we become more aware and live more intentionally and start to try to test this theory of putting an intention out there and being open to how it comes back, there's another layer of positives to this that can be a good thing for you in your life, to be more aware. Because when we recognize that we're all connected, it's a lot easier to soften. Even when someone's rude or short with you, you start to begin to ask, what might they be going through? Instead of just taking it personally off the bat. It promotes emotional resilience and more understanding. The more you understand the ripple effect of your energy, the more mindful you become with how you react. You realize that your presence can shift a room. So you start choosing calm instead of chaos. It also helps encourage better communication. When you're aware of how connected we are, you start to listen differently. You speak with more clarity and care. Because now you're not just speaking to someone, you're exchanging energy with them. And sometimes just knowing that we're not alone, even in the unseen ways, that can be enough to carry us through. So when we can lean into a belief that we are supported, even when we can't see it, it helps us feel less alone. It helps strengthen your mind-body awareness. It shows up in your body. When you slow down and tune in, you start recognizing how your body responds to people different places and thoughts. That's your intuition. And again, that's connection. It's not just mental or emotional. It's physical too. And it helps deepen gratitude, because The more you notice and see the small signs, the more you realize how supported you really are. Gratitude stops being a forced practice. It starts becoming something you actually feel throughout your day. And at the end of the day, it helps you live more intentionally, not just for you, but like I said, how you affect others, because we're all connected. So you start to ask, what energy do I want to contribute to the world today? And that changes everything. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Send me a message, share this episode, or tag me if you've had a moment like this in your own life. I think a lot of us have. And as always, thank you for being here. It means more than you know. Until next time.